Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII ends with Zack Fair, Soldier First Class, in Cloud Strife being ambushed by Shinra troops, and Zack is shot and killed, creating the Cloud Strife we see in both Final Fantasy VII and Remake. Now that's a different story, but Remake shows a different version of these events. In a shot-for-shot remake of the Crisis Core cutscene, the Whispers of Fate are shown to be flying around, both around the Shinra troops and in the dome around Midgar, the same dome they're in while the party's escaping in the future. And when the Whispers are defeated by the party in the future, they are also defeated in the past. These Whispers exist beyond time. But then, as the Whispers are destroyed, you see a new cutscene, one where instead of Zack being killed, he survives, and takes Cloud to Midgar like he originally planned. This of course is not how it originally went down, creating a new timeline. Also Stamp, the propaganda dog used by Shinra, is a completely different breed and wearing a different hat than which is so prevalently shown throughout the rest of the game. So now there are three timelines: the original timeline, this remake, and this new one where Zack survives. And one can only assume where this is going. Now this may sound like conspiracy theory talk, but given everything I've said, I feel like this describes this whole essay. When Aerith is killed, the storytellers are going to make something that struck us all 23 years ago hit so much harder, by not just having Cloud Strife lose her, but also Zack Fair, her first love. Given the scene where Aerith and Zack walk past each other in separate timelines yet recognize each other, gives this some validity. This may just be where Remake is going. One of the most confusing sections of the whole game is Cloud's visit at the edge of creation with Sephiroth. Of course, quite obviously, it is the final showdown from the original game, down to the stances of the two as they face each other, the cinematography and quick cuts, all identical to the original game, something I definitely didn't think we would see at least until the actual end of this remake. As said previously, this remake can change everything. Now I'm going to recount the scene and dissect my interpretation of what was meant to be the end, and what it means for this new series of events.
Careful now. That which lies ahead does not yet exist. Our world will become a part of it one day, but I will not end. Nor will I have you end.
This is...
the edge of creation. Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together.
Never.
Not yet. 7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
So, let's go through this line by line just to make it easier for me.
Careful now. That which lies ahead does not yet exist. Our world will become a part of it one day, but I will not end. Nor will I have you end.
This is...
the edge of creation.
Now from this here, Sephiroth seems to be talking about their final encounter, something which lies ahead but does not yet exist. But then he starts talking about what their world will become, and I feel Sephiroth himself answers that. Their world will become a part of the edge of creation. It will pass away, and Sephiroth will not pass away with it. He will endure, and he still needs Cloud. Sephiroth is still in the northern crater, and he needs Cloud to give him the black materia to summon a meteor. But this Sephiroth knows his past mistakes, and seems to be taking precautions.
Cloud, lend me your strength. Let us defy destiny together.
Sephiroth is reaching out his hand to Cloud, as he knows that Cloud is the one who destroys him in the original timeline. A timeline he is desperately trying to distance himself from. So why not let Cloud work with him rather than against, thus removing Sephiroth's greatest threat entirely. And now the big one.
7 seconds till the end. Time enough for you, perhaps. But what will you do with it? Let's see.
There are two possibilities of what Sephiroth is referring to. The in-game flavor text describes the scenario as Sephiroth giving Cloud a vision of 7 seconds till the end of the world. And as the explanation given by an already cryptic game, the internet has done its best to figure out another meaning. In the original game, it takes Sephiroth 7 seconds exactly to jump down and plunge his Masamune into Aerith. And the music playing at the edge of creation includes melodies from the City of the Ancients theme, the place where Aerith dies. It is possible that the 7 seconds Sephiroth is referring to is that of Aerith's death, or the 7 seconds before a meteor impacts the planet. All that matters is that Sephiroth is doing what he does best, taunt Cloud. And as he said in Advent Children,
I've thought of a wonderful present for you. Shall I give you despair? Is this the pain you felt before? Cloud, let me remind you, this time you won't forget. Tell me what you cherish most. Give me the pleasure of taking it away.
Sephiroth may not have given that Cloud despair, may not have taken what that Cloud cherished most, but this Cloud may just taste Sephiroth's wrath. So, given everything I've said thus far, let's draft up a timeline of what I'm going to call the expanded Final Fantasy VII compilation, to show the path to Final Fantasy VII Remake and its sequel, or whatever Square and Nomura decide to call it. To start, here's a timeline of the original compilation, starting with Crisis Core, then FF7, which is continued with Advent Children, and then Dirge of Cerberus, which we don't really need to pay attention to, so I'm just going to remove it, and then we have Remake in its own little bubble. Let's put these games into a coherent story. Sephiroth's story. As said in this essay, he returns to change his fate. The story of his fall at Nibelheim, his defeat at the hands of Cloud Strife, and now his return. To start this timeline, I removed Remake from the equation momentarily, because it takes place on a different line. Then I drew the arrow from which Sephiroth returns and where he is returning from. And this caused the event at Destiny's Crossroads, which branched Remake into a split in the timeline, similar to that of Back to the Future Part 2, or the Kelvin timeline of Star Trek, a branch where Sephiroth is remaking the timeline. And this also creates the branch where it appears Zack survived. This is the timeline of Final Fantasy VII Remake, and the compilation remade. Cloud, Aerith, Tifa, Barret, and Red 13 seem to be going down an unknown path, unknown to all of them, even us, the players. This remake isn't just a remake of the game graphically and gameplay-wise, but one of the story too, and it's been there all along. From the initial reveal back in 2015, the trailers have hinted at this, we just didn't notice. Now, I don't know about you, but I loved every second of Final Fantasy VII Remake, including the ending. And in the meantime, as we all wait for the next installment, when we theorize about what it all means and how it's going to play into the next game, I can say without a doubt that I have never seen this kind of reaction to a video game. This feels like we're all collectively walking out of the movie theater from seeing Fellowship of the Ring or Avengers Infinity War. We're all so anxious to know what happens next, and I love it. And now that we know that we aren't getting a beat-for-beat retelling of the original game, the storytellers have given us mystery again. And like the final screen said, the unknown journey will continue.